They say that they're gonna
Have you seen the news, babe?
about the online.
Yeah.
No, the answer to your question is no. I haven't seen the news. That was exactly what.
Gosh, you know what? Like they're now charging taxes on the online sellers. It's like people
Well,
are
good.
just like,
Good.
no, it's not.
Good, because I've been paying taxes on my online business for years. And by charging them online taxes now, it's actually helping them. And I'll tell you why. Because if they think that they're going to start an online business, making something, selling something out of their house and not paying taxes, they're actually fooling themselves into thinking that they have a sustainable business, and they don't. So, it would be like if we had this house, right, and we start having parties at the house and we're not paying rent. And month after month after month, we invite people, we put furniture, and we get everybody to come to our house, and they all like it, but we're never paying rent. And suddenly, the owner says, hey, you need to pay your rent. And we're like, but we can't, we can't afford, we have these customers coming, we have expenses, things like that. They say, okay, you don't just need to pay rent, you actually have to pay also back rent for all the time that you didn't pay. Then what would our fun little party house, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to all the people that are coming? So by charging tax, or by saying that online businesses are taxable from day one, they're actually helping people make truly sustainable and real businesses. Now, I think, what was your other thing about people wanting to just get the economy started, or?
Yeah, they just wanted to, first of all, they just want to get the economy started, especially most people are getting pay cut. They're trying to find means to earn money.
Yeah, I think you said like, oh yeah, even though you took a pay cut, that you're getting taxed on that pay cut. But if your income was $100,000 a month before, and now it's only $10,000, you're not still paying, you're paying 30%, right? So you're paying $30,000 a month when you're making $100,000 a month. Now that you're only making $10,000 a month, you're not still paying $30,000 a month in taxes, right? You're paying tax on what you took in. If you happen to be in a higher income bracket, so if you're just getting paid $10,000 a month now, but you were in that higher income bracket from before, you're still going to get taxed at that bracket because it's for your whole year. It's not just for this month. Some of my employees that only make $15,000 a month, they don't get hit with tax at all until now they're starting to getting overtime. When they start getting overtime pay, now suddenly they're getting into a higher income bracket. Now suddenly they're starting to see taxes start getting taken out, and that's starting to surprise them. But that has nothing to do with if you decide to run an online business or not, or if you decide to augment your income. You also have to participate in the tax part of the economy. That's part of running a business. That's part of your responsibility as an entrepreneur.
But how can people get started with business if they from the start of the business they're getting charged already, right?
That's the thing. From the start of the business, you should run the business. Oh, so also, you will not be taxed on the first, I think it's 250,000 pesos of your income. And you need to check on this. I think a lot of people didn't know about this, but if you're bringing in less than 250,000, they're going to treat your business differently. But you have to actually register the business. You can't even get a GCash account for your business if you don't have a business registration. If you don't have a mayor's permit. The reason when ECQ started, the reason that I was able to get stuff turned on really fast was because I already had the business permit, because I already had income tax returns. You can't participate in the real economy and use everything if you don't have a properly registered business. So if you want to run a hustle, and if you want to constantly run that business kind of underground and participate in the underground economy, you're never going to grow to 1 million pesos a month to have the kind of the goal that I think people really have when they're starting businesses. Because I don't think that people are starting businesses thinking that they want to have something small. I think people start because they want to have something big, or they want to have something livable, something they can feed their family off of. And also, you never know when the government is going to change or enforce things. So why not have it started out right to begin with? Start out following the law so you don't have to try and fix it later.
But most people who are starting their online business, they are only starting with low cash. So they need to, on top of that, they're gonna have to put part of their budget is getting a registration, right?
The registration is not that expensive. It's like so.
How much is the registration?
I don't think it. So like when I was doing my business registration in 2009, I saw as I was doing it, suddenly it clicked for me. I said, "Oh wow, this is why they keep the prices low so that people can actually easily afford to do it. So that small time businesses can afford to do it." It costs money to start anything. You can't expect to go to college and not pay to at least get your application in. And you can't graduate unless you apply, right? And it's a lot harder to graduate than it is to apply. That's the same thing with running a business. It's harder to run a business. It's harder to sustain a business if you didn't first set up the business, if you didn't first register the business. And the registration part is easy. It's keeping it going that is the hard part.
How much is the business registration
It's
usually?
like 1,000 pesos or something. Like every stop along the way, there's various steps along the way. You're gonna pay 1,000 here, you're gonna pay 3,000 there, but there needs to be some sort of, everything that's worth having has some sort of barrier to entry. If you wanna start some company baking pies in your house, it's only a matter of time before the restaurant down the street that has been baking pies legitimately as a business and has been charging tax and paying tax and remitting that tax to the government, they're going to get kind of fed up with you and they're going to try and shut you down. And you've already laid the whole path to your door for the BIR and anybody else while you're doing your online advertising. You actually laid everything out for them to be able to find you easily. So when the BIR wants to do their tax mapping, all they have to do is just jump online like all your customers are doing and find you. They can easily target whoever's the biggest one, start there and just work their way down. It's super easy. So if you want to run an online business and try and hide it, you're not going to make sales, right? Because the whole point of being business is you want people to know about it. And when people know about it, the BIR is very simple. I know how they do it. In the old way, they go and just drive up and down the street, look in a mall and just say, okay, this guy's paying, this guy's paying, this guy's paying. Like they go in a shopping center, they just do what they call tax mapping. Tax mapping of online business is going to be even easier. And it's, restaurants are closing. Some people talk about they want to restart the economy. We need to restart the economy. Well, you have to restart the whole economy. You can't just restart like an underground economy, trading stuff, left and right. And I think this other thing I hear about people complain, was my favorite one. But we don't get anything for the tax money that we pay. Yeah, well, I'm a foreigner and I get even less. So I pay the proper taxes, and I'm not, as a non-citizen, I can't own property, I can't vote, all of the things that I can't do, and I'm still paying it. And the business is still working fine. It works even better year after. It's working better this year than it did last year. Every year I write out enough tax, a tax check that's enough to buy a home theater entertainment system of my dreams. And I still don't have that home theater entertainment system. I have this little cheap TV. But I don't regret it. So I wrote it, and that means I get to sleep better at night. I wrote it, and it means that somebody can't, come and shut me down for not paying taxes. And I like that. That's actually what's helped the business succeed. So that's it. Is there any other questions? Or?
Well, I have last question.
What's the last
so,
question?
example, I have a salsa, and I'm just selling it for 200 pesos. So now, the people are just now have to put VAT on top of that.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, how do you think they are? Because now they have to, on what they earn, they have to pay portion of the tax.
Well, now I'm not an expert, so you need to talk to an expert, but I know about being a VAT. It depends if you're a VAT or non-VAT company also, so you have to figure out what's the difference between that. But if you get big enough to the point where you are a VAT company, which that's what I have, so I have a VAT company, you should be charging or including in your price 12% of it, and that gets remitted to the government. But you have to balance it out for how much there's input VAT and there's output VAT. You want to find an expert on this. Your input VAT is what you already paid when you went to the store and you bought the materials. When you bought the machine that helps you grind the tomatoes to make your salsa, that was your input VAT. You already paid that in. Now you need to charge to your customers so that you can balance it out and remit the difference. So let's say if you make a batch of salsa, if you spent 10,000, or you spent 1,000 pesos on materials and supplies, of that 1,000 pesos, you paid 120 pesos already in VAT. Now, if you spend 1,000 and you have a way to make 2,000, this is not going to work very well. Or if you have a way to make, let's say, 1,000 pesos, you can make 5,000. You're actually not charging. You're charging VAT on the value that you added. You're not charging VAT on the whole kit and caboodle because you already paid it in to the grocery store. I know this is going to come out really well, but you have to figure out how it works. It's not that you're taking something out of what you're earning.
So basically, you paid for the VAT for those materials. You paid 12% on those VAT on those materials in the grocery store.
Right.
But now the VAT that you paid there in the grocery store, you're just charging it to the people.
It's a tax on consumption. So the final consumer, the person who eats the salsa and poops it out, that's the person
who's paying the 12% of that.
12%.
Yeah.
And if you're not charging it, then you're the one who's paying it. You're the one who paid it. So if you didn't charge it,
Okay, that's
it's a tax on consumption. That's just the way the country works. I think one of the things that people needed all this time was a little bit more education on how the tax system works in the Philippines. If it wasn't taught in high school, then I guess it can be
That's
too.
the problem, babe. I graduated college, but I never had those. I don't know. I guess I'm not listening in the class. I guess.
I don't know what happened.
I
but
never encountered that during.
If it wasn't covered in school,
never
then you can't be
covered it in
surprised
school,
at people.
yeah.
I had to learn it as a newcomer. I had to learn it from an accountant. I spent a lot of money for accountants to teach it to me. But I guess if the government really wants people to participate and pay, then they have to make sure that the education part of this is included. Maybe in high school, right before you go out to become a working part of society.
To start selling online business.
Before you start selling stuff online, yeah, people have to be educated on how that part works, because it was never your money to begin with, and you already paid it in. You already paid it in when you bought your materials. So somewhere along the line, it's been paid in. So anyway, that's my part about that. But I'm tired of people saying that they don't get anything out of the government, because really, I get even less out of it. And I'm still paying the taxes, and I don't mind it because it also means I have a chance to be successful. I showed up in this country not knowing anybody. I knew like 9 people total, and nobody gave me some big chunk of money to get started. Nobody gave me, a whole lot of anything, and the road was never smoother for me. I was walking into government offices, didn't speak the language. It was not easy, but in the end, it has proven to be very successful. The fruits of your labor will actually come, but you have to do the work. And I gotta wash dishes. Or put them in the dishwasher.